on today's show, we're going to be talking about how to juggle money when you run a business as a couple.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, first off, difficulty. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
So we were just talking roughly about this off air. So you guys have been in business now for 8 years. Yeah. And you were saying that you're now at that point where you're taking a actual wage as a couple.
Yeah.
Which gives us problems.
Yeah.
Right, because we're
And
3 years in.
to everyone else who's out there, I think, because we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary.
Yeah.
And we literally just take the minimum of allowance that you can.
Yeah.
And then obviously if there's dividends, you can take that.
Yeah.
But how do we manage it in the meantime? What's your top tip, Danielle?
Well, we're a limited company, so I don't have a great deal of advice over someone that's like a sole trader or something. So that's probably a good thing to know, that the advice I'm given is from a limited company point of view.
Yeah. We're limited, but we've got it. Actually, you've also got 2 businesses as well, right? So you've got the limited company and you've got the sole trader.
No, Homes for Paws is limited.
Oh, so Home for Paws limited as well. All right, okay, cool. So Black Nova, in Black Nova Designs is web development and IT, not IT, web development and IT, and then Paws.
Homes for Paws is a dog boarding business.
Dog boarding business, right? We've got Cena Bounds, which is the network business. We've got Jamie Mechanics, which is my own brand, which is a partnership.
Yeah. And
then we've got Blue Koala, which is also limited. So I think between us, we've got enough experience. So what's your kind of feel?
So, you put your, any expenses that you can put through the business legitimately, you do. So your phone, your internet. I couldn't run my business without either of those 2.
Yeah.
And we, at the very beginning, worked out how much money our personal lives needed to be able to keep a roof over our head, be able to, go to the pub occasionally and afford our bills. And that's the money we then took. So we've always taken a salary, but it was, the minimum that we needed to survive.
Did you keep investing in the business as well in the beginning, don't you? You keep adding things, like you have your premises, which is amazing. We set up our office, which was really, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to grow.
It's an interesting concept, especially with limited company, that it's the business owns that money and you have your own money. But actually, the only way the business has money is if you put it in there. So it's a real hard concept to get your head around.
Juggle.
So it's saying, the business pays for my phone, the business pays for my internet. Who runs the business?
Yeah.
You do. So you're still paying for it. It's just in a different way.
So okay, I've got a question. I've got a question for you, Kyle.
Yep.
Because I know how it makes me feel, right? When in the early days, we're running the business, and I know sometimes how I feel. Like I just want to be able to, spoil my wife or spoil the kids, or to just have a surprise. Like
I want to go down the pub or something like that. It's just something simple.
But I think mentally that's the tough challenge.
Yeah, it's probably the toughest challenge I did as well. Literally going through pretty much easily 5-6 years without any money. Literally had no money in the sense of being able to go, right, I've got that spare cash to say, you know what, I'm going to go down, like you say, go buy the wife a present, buy the kids something, and you kind of look at it and go, I really want to do something. You can't. And I think that's quite a good persona to look at for other business owners and even people that aren't in business, because they always think that business owners have got tons and tons of money. And
I genuinely don't know where that belief comes from.
I don't know where it comes from, because none of us do.
Richard Branson, he's got tons of money. The rest of us, we haven't.
But it's at the other side. You look at that. Richard Branson probably has got millions now, but I guarantee he did exactly what we all did, which was probably 5-10 years worth of nothing. Really.
Absolutely. And
we had money.
He did go to school in Eton once, so.
You don't hear about the failing businesses, do you?
Yeah, he's also run several failed businesses as well.
Yeah.
I think that's something else.
And that's the thing. That's where that money comes from. But that persona of not having much money at the beginning is a very hard upward battle. Really, I'm going to get there shortly. It will come.
I think there still is a persona that you're too big, you've clearly got money. Where does that persona?
If anybody looked at my bank balance, I definitely don't have.
But just because I run a business, or I've got a team, or you guys have got a team, or you run 3 businesses, it doesn't mean that we're going to be driving around in 5 Porsches each and a helicopter. We have enough to survive. We're not.
Well, we're a green company.
yeah. All right, Tesla.
But I tell you what I do want to talk about, though, because obviously I want to tie this into a relationship thing, right? So a lot of the time when someone runs a business, they have a supporting partner. And I think this is something else that I want to kind of bring out, because if you talk to people that have got their own businesses, quite often they've got a supporting partner who covers the bills.
Yeah.
When you run a business together, that doesn't
I
happen.
think that's the hardest part, to be honest.
Yeah.
That you don't have anything. So if things are tight, or you're going through a little bit of a period, or you're expanding and growing, and you need to invest that money back in, and you can't take a salary during that time, you haven't got anything else to fall back on. Like we had savings when we first started, and then the savings kind of slowly disappear.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, do I need to take a part-time job? I mean, how many business owners don't think that on a kind of weekly basis? Shall I go out to
pretty
do
much.
So get a proper job.
Yeah.
We actually use, so for me and Charlotte, we use my speaking work.
Yeah.
Right, that's our reliance. And I'm assuming with you, is possibly the dog boarding.
If we're in a bad time, that can be.
Yeah,
where it
that's
comes in.
usually our holiday money.
Yeah, but the holiday money then becomes your
Yeah,
money.
it's emergency cash fund.
Yeah.
So in the fact, if something goes wrong and Black Nova needs all the cash that month, we can't take a salary. We don't take a salary.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the home supports will hopefully cover the cost of what
Yeah.
we need to pay.
You got guys out there working for you as well, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
they come first
you've got to
before
pay
us.
them before you pay you.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a big responsibility.
So an iconic thing for applying for a mortgage is submitting how much you actually earn. Well, what was quite ironic is that if you're employed, actually you can just submit 3 months worth of pay slips and away you go.
Yeah.
But if you run a business, you're far less likely to get a mortgage off those last 3 pay slips because you've earned nothing according to that.
Yeah.
But actually, who's more likely to be in more of a risky situation, the employees or the directors?
Oh.
It's always going to be the employee, because if the business needs to make cuts, they're going to make the employee, not the director. They're not going to sack a director, because if the director's not in charge of the business, nobody has the business. So technically, a director has, especially for us, where we've
More
got
security.
multiple staff members, if we want to gain somebody's salary back of 30k plus, that's going back in our pocket as soon as we get rid of that person. So technically, we've got more money in that sense.
As a view that not many people think about.
Yeah.
It was the job security, the mortgage, the income. You've got to. It's a system.
Yeah.
That's where the
And-
thing that I really kind of get a bit of a fair bug on is the fact that people say go and get a proper job. Because a proper job is not secure either.
Yeah, I once said that. I said, you do realise at the end of every proper job is someone looking in the mirror, sat there saying the exact same thing that we should do.
Yeah.
Should I just go and get a proper job? And that is a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that we do, all right, and I think this is quite prudent if you run a business with a couple, only one of you can manage the money. Would you agree or disagree?
Mostly agree with that. Mostly.
So who's the money manager?
Me, mostly.
Yeah. I kind of gather that.
Mostly, but there's still like the final say.
Yeah, no. We talk about it. We talk about it.
Yeah.
But
and
like,
actually, one thing that we took away from a guy that we know very well, who we've been on several masterminds, is always have a look at the bank account at 11 o'clock every day. And that's something that I do probably need to sometimes, especially when you're juggling.
Yeah.
Because it's about juggling. So like if Blue Koala needs to pay the rent or something, you'll take from that account to this account to that, and then it goes.
I think that's a
someone makes it
real.
work and the accountant goes, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like the whole real life thing is that actually, whether you're running a business as a couple or not, check your bank account. Like check what you're actually paying.
Yeah.
There have been times where I've said to Kyle, God, what are we paying that for? And he's like, oh no, that should have stopped months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
So
so we have a bit of a
yeah, so it's a bit of a two for fro with us. So Dew does the majority of the day-to-day spending and all that, but then I'll go for, if I don't like looking at money because it depresses me. I'm quite not money orientated, but I don't like seeing the bank empty because then I start worrying about staff. I worry about what's going, and I'm a bit of an empath. So if I create bad blood in my own environment, I suck it all in. So what I try to do is like, if things start to become too low, I then go, right, okay, let's do a full scrutiny of the entire books, and I will sit there for a day and rip through the whole lot, and I go, why are we paying that? Why are we paying that? Why are we paying that? Why are we paying that?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've now got a few grand to spare, and you're like, oh, that's why we forgot to turn things
So
off.
James is very good with spreadsheets, and that the spreadsheet will come out, and all the figures will come out.
I literally do it every month.
Yeah.
Like every month I go through and go, right, why have we got $2 grand worth of expenses?
Yeah.
And as long as they're justified,
I don't care.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But like I do that a lot.
Yeah,
It's
if you can't-
interesting though, because I'm kind of in charge of money on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
But the end of month is you, and then I go through it.
Yeah.
But I think that
that's
works.
go
It
on.
works really well because the simple fact is it's a second pair of eyes. Because the
Yeah.
problem is when you're working it all day, like me with tech, you're working it all day, all the time, you get so blindsided that you've seen that
Yeah.
bill come out all the time, so you don't expect it. And you go, like, we had a service that we were paying for. We didn't even own the piece of equipment it came with. So it's like, why are we paying for this thing that
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore? But the
Yeah.
problem is because obviously like Dee had seen the bill come out every month, it was normal. Then I went,
Yeah.
okay, now it's time to scrutinize stuff, let's have a look. And then you go, I get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that.
And how
you say,
often
look,
does that happen to anyone else,
Yeah.
that's watching, that you've subscribed to something that actually you're not using anymore?
No,
I
probably all the
subscribe
time.
to things that you don't really understand
Yeah.
what it does. So
Yeah.
I had a friend yesterday who actually subscribed to a very sort of known site that you send photographs through recently that she doesn't have a clue how to use. And she said, I need to
We need to
go
name the
with
site because that
No.
sounds
Yeah,
dodgy
that
as
sounds
hell.
real dodgy.
that. It's very, very simple. You can have a guess. So anyone watching this, we want to hear your comment. But the other thing I wanted to say, you've got to get yourself a good accountant that you
Yeah.
don't feel stupid asking any questions.
Yeah. And the website is not OnlyFans. So, right, okay, we do have to wrap the show up. So, if we were going to look at juggling money, the dog has gone ape. If you can hear the dog, if you can give one top tip going around the room about how to juggle money as a couple working a business, what would be your top tip?
top tip is talk about it.
Talk about good tip.
End of month and have this regular meetings together.
Regular meetings and a month.
Check your subscriptions.
Check your subscriptions, and mine would be have someone in charge of the money. That would be my top tip. And I think with all of those in place, you can't go far wrong. So that's been the first episode, how to juggle money as a couple in business. We hope you've taken some golden nuggets from it, and we will see you right back here very soon. So take care. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.